page 424, 7.150. Yes. Okay. All right. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय
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 श्री
जय
चैतन्य
श्री
जय
चैतन्य जय
नित्यानंद
नित्यानंद
जय
जय
अद्वैत चंद्र जय
द्वैत
गौर
चंद्र
भक्त
जय गौर
वृंद।
भक्त वृंद।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय जय श्री
जय जय
चैतन्य
श्री
जय
चैतन्य
नित्यानंद
जय
जय
नित्यानंद
अद्वैत
जय
चंद्र जय
द्वैत
गौर
चंद्र
भक्त
जय
वृंद।
गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय जय श्री
जय जय
चैतन्य
श्री
जय
चैतन्य
नित्यानंद
जय
जय
नित्यानंद
नित्यानंद जय
नित्यानंद
अद्वैत
जय
चंद्र जय
द्वैत
गौर
चंद्र
भक्त
जय
वृंद।
गौर भक्त वृंद।
All right, Dad, you can start from 150.
Okay,
Text.
yeah. Text 150. नित्य धर्म सनातन श्री गौरंग राया नालंगे जन का वाक्य पढ़िते न आया। श्री गौरंग राय, the personification of an eternal religious principles, followed his father's instructions and gave up his studies.
Hmm. Text 151. अंतरे दुखिता प्रभु विद्या रास भंगे पुनः प्रभु उधात हैला शिशु संगे The Lord was disappointed to give up his scholastic pursuits, so he again began to engage in childhood mischief.
Text 152. Kiba nichagare prabhu kiba paragare yaha poya taha bange apachaya kare. Whether in his own house or in another's house, the Lord would break and ruin whatever he got his hands on.
Text 153. निशा हाइले प्रभु न ऐसे घरे सर्वरात्रि शिशु संगे नाना क्रीड़ा करे. He would not even return home at night, rather, he would continue playing all night with the other boys.
Hmm. 154. Kambale dhakiya anga dui shishu meli vrisha praya hayya chalena kutuhali. The Lord and another boy covered themselves with a blanket and played as a bull.
Text 155. Yarabadi kalavana dekitake dine ratri hoile vrishvarupe mangaya apane. If they saw banana trees at someone's house during the day, at night the Lord and his friend, disguised as a bull, would destroy them.
Text 156. गरु जाने गृहस्था कर्या हाया हाया जागीले गृहस्था शिशु samahati palaya. Thinking that a bull was destroying his bananas, the house owner cried out in lamentation. As he came out from his house, the boys ran away.
157. कारो घरे द्वारा दिया बंधाए बहिरे लाघवी भूर्वी गृहस्था करीते नहीं पारे. The Lord would lock the door of someone's house from outside, and the householder would be unable to come out for passing urine or stool. Purport: the phrase Dwara diya bandhaye bahire indicates that the door could be locked from outside. The word lagvi means to pass urine and gurvi means to pass stool.
Text 158. Ke bandila duyara karaye haya haya jagile grihasta prabhu utia palaya. When the householder cried out, "Who has locked my door?" the Lord ran away.
Text 159. Ei mata dina ratri त्रिदशेराराया शिशुगण संगे क्रीड़ा करे न सर्वदाया. In this way, Tridas Rai played continuously day and night with his friends.
Text
What
160.
what is this Tridas Rai? I think Rama, they are addressing the Lord only.
Yeah, I think different names of the Lord, I think.
Hmm.
Text 160. यते का चपल लिया करे प्रभु विश्वम भरा तथापि ओ मिश्रा किछु ना करे उत्तरा. In spite of all Vishwambhara's mischievous activities, Jagannath Mishra did not say a thing.
Text 161. Ekadina Mishra Chalilena Karyantara Paditena Poya Prabhu Krodita Antara. One day, after Jagannath Mishra went for his duties, the Lord became very angry because he was not allowed to study.
Text 162. Vishnu Naivedyara Yata Vraja Handi Gana Vasilena Prabhu Handi Kariya Asana. Translation. He then sat down on the old rejected pots that had been used for preparing offerings for Lord Vishnu. Purport. The word Varjya means rejected or abandoned. The word handi is a corruption of the Sanskrit word handi, which is a pot for cooking rice.
Hmm. 163. ए बड़ा निगुढ़ कथा सुना एक मने कृष्ण भक्ति सिद्धि हाय इहारा श्रवणे. This topic is most confidential. Whoever hears it will attain devotional service to Lord Krishna. Hari Bol.
Text 164. Varjahandi Gana Saba Kore Simhasana Tativase Hase Gora Sundara Vadana. Using these rejected pots as a simhasana, Lord Gorasundara smiled as he sat there. So it was as a lion throne. He's using them as a lion throne.
Oh my Lord, the Lord is so amazing.
Text 165. Lagila Handira Kali Sarva Gaura Ange Kanaka Putali Yena Lepia Che Gandhe. The black soot from these pots decorated Gaura's limbs, and he appeared like a golden doll smeared with sandalwood pulp mixed with agururu. Purport. The golden body of Nimai smeared with the black soot from the clay cooking pots looked like someone had smeared black agururu and sandalwood paste on the limbs of a
Hmm.
golden doll.
Text 166. Shishu Gana Jana Ila Giya Shachi Sane Nemai Vasiya Ache Handira Asane. His friend went and informed Mother Sachi. Nimai is sitting on the rejected pots.
Text 167. Maye asi dekia karena hoya hoya estanete bapa vasibare nai yuyaya. When Mother Sachi went there and saw Nimai in that condition, she lamented and said, "My dear son, this is not a proper place to sit."
Text 168. Varjya handi thasaba para sile snana etadine tomara ei na janile jnana. These are rejected pots, and if one touches them, he must take bath. Haven't you understood this by now? Purport. The word parasile means if one touches, and the word jnana refers to the conception of clean and dirty or purity and impurity.
Text 169. Prabhu bole tora more na dispadite bhadra bhadra murkha vipre jani ke mate. The Lord replied, you don't allow me to study, so how will I know the difference between good and bad, or a fool and a Brahman? The purport. The word bhadra bhadra means pure and bhadra abhadra
Abhadra.
means pure and impure. Hmm.
Text 170. Mordeka Amina Jiniye Balamandasana Sarvatra Amara Eka Advitiya Jnana. I am a fool, so I don't know which place is good and which is bad. Therefore, I consider all places equal. The word Advitiya Jnana refers to perception of the equality of all places.
Text 171. Eta bali bhashe varjya handira asane dattatreya bhava prabhu haila takhane. Translation. After saying this, the Lord smiled from his seat on the rejected pots and accepted the mood of Dattatreya, the topmost knower of the absolute truth. For a description of Dattatreya, one may consult the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, Purva 45 to 48, wherein the following verses are quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.7.4. अत्रेर अपत्यम अभीक्षन्त अहातुस्तो दत्तो मयाहम इति यद भगवान स दत्ता यत् पदा पंकजा पराग पवित्र देहा योगार्धिम अपुर उभ्याम उभ्यम यदु हयाधभा. The great sage Atri prayed for a offspring, and the Lord, being satisfied with him, promised to incarnate as Atri's son Dattatreya, Datta, the son of Atri. And by grace of the lotus feet of the Lord, many Yadus, Haityas, became so purified that they obtained both material and spiritual blessing from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.11. षष्ठम अत्रेर अपत्यवतम व्रतः प्राप्तो नौष्यस्य अन्वीक्षिम अलकरया प्रहलादिभ्यः उचीवान. The sixth incarnation of the Purush was the son of the sage Atri. He was born from the womb of Anusuya, who prayed for an incarnation. He spoke on the subject of transcendence to Alarka, Prahalad, and others, Yadu, Haiha, etc. Shri Brahmande tu Kaitham Atri Patnayantuyaya Prathito Bhagwan Atrer Aparyatavam Upeyavan. It is mentioned in Brahman Puran that when Ansuya, the wife of sage Atri, prayed to Lord Vishnu, the Lord agreed to become the son of Atri. Tatha hi varam datta vanasuyai Vishnu sarva jagan maya Atre putro bhavat tasyam स्वेच्छ मनुष्य विग्रह दत्तात्रेय इति खायतो yati vesha vibhusita. It is further said, he who accepts a human form by his own sweet will and who is the cause of all universe, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, gave Ansuya a benediction and thus appeared in her womb as the son of Atri. He became famous as Dattatreya and he was dressed as a sannyasi. Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan has written in his Lagu Bhagavatamrita commentary on these verses. Atri's prayers to have son as good as the Lord is one of the topics of the fourth canto, and Anusuya's prayer to have the Lord as her son is found in the first canto. The statement of Brahmanand Puran supports the later version. Acha, there is some kind of a confusion about when he was born. That is why this last paragraph, no? And Dattatreya, as you were discussing that bit, he's one of the incarnations only.
Incarnation of the Lord.
Yeah.
Sixth incarnation of Purush, the Supreme Personality of God.
Mm.
Text 172. Ma ye bole tumi ye vasila manda sthane ebe tumi pavitra va haiban ke mane. Mother Sachi inquired, you have sat in an impure place, so how will you purify yourself?
Text 173. Excuse me. Prabhu bole mata tume padasi shumati abavitrastane kabu morana hestiti. The Lord replied, my dear mother, you are very childish. I am never in an impure place. It is stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ancho 4176, Dvoite Bhadra Bhadra Gyana Sabha Manodharma E Baila E Manda E Sabda Brahma. In the material world, conceptions of good and bad are all mental speculations. Therefore, saying this is good and this is bad is all a mistake. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11:28-4, it is said, Kim Bhadram Kim Abhadram Va Dvitasya Vastuna Kiyat Vachoditam Tan Amritam Manasa Dayatam Evacha. Anything not conceived in relationship to Krishna should be understood to be illusion, Maya. None of the illusions uttered by words or conceived in the mind are factual. Because illusion is not factual, there is no distinction between what we think is good and what we think is bad. When we speak of the absolute truth, such speculations do not apply. The considerations of purity and impurity accepted by attached householders who follow the doctrine of the non-devotional materialistic smartas are not accepted by the Vaishnava Smritis. According to Vaishnava Smritis, the service and ingredients of service offered for the pleasure of the Lord can never be considered unpalatable, perverted, or impure. This pure consideration found in the Vaishnava Smritis and propounded by Sri Gaurasundara has created havoc in the material rules and regulations of the Smartas, who are maddened by mundane sensual knowledge. In the Padma Purana, it is stated, Nevejam Jagadishasha Anapanadikam Chayat Brahmavam Nirvikaram Hi Atta Vishnus Tataivatat. These foodstuffs and beverages that are offered to Krishna are transcendental, incorruptible, and non-different from Vishnu. Foodstuffs that are offered to Vishnu are called Naivedya. Abominable items can never be Vishnu Naivedya. According to Vaishnava Smriti, a Vaishnava should never discriminate between mundane purity and impurity. Rather, he should see everything in relation to Vishnu. Pure Vaishnavas are naturally inclined towards the spiritual principles of liberated personalities and do not have ordinary mundane vision. The following statements of the scriptures may be discussed in this regard. Sorashe Vihiti Shastre Harim Udishaya Kriya Shaiva Bhaktir Iti Prokta Yaya Bhakti Parabhavet. O my dear Narada, O sage among the demigods, those activities prescribed in the revealed scriptures for satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, are called the regulative principles of bhakti, sadhana bhakti, by practicing which one may attain the highest bhakti, prema. Laukiki Vaidaki Yapi Ya Kriya Kriyate Mune Hare Sevan Kulaiva Sakarya Bhaktim Ichata. One should perform only those activities, either worldly or prescribed by Vedic rules and regulations, which are favorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Iha Yasya Harir Dasya Karmana Manasa Gira Nikolasav api avastasu jivan mukta sa uchate. A person who acts in the service of Krishna with his body, mind, intelligence, and words is a liberated person, even within the material world. The consideration of purity and impurity found in Vaishnava literature is different from that of the Smartas. A person's purity and superiority depends on his attraction to the service of the Supreme Absolute Truth after giving up material considerations. This is the purport for verses 173 to 179.
Very nice.
यथा मूरा स्थिति सेयी सर्व पुण्य स्थाना गंगा आदि सर्व तीर्था तहि अधिष्ठाना. Wherever I am, that place becomes most sacred. The Ganges and all other tirthas are present at that place.
Text 175. अमारा से कल्पनिका शुचि व अशुचि श्रष्ठारा की दोषा अच्छे माने भावा बुझी. Purity and impurity is only our mental creation. Please consider what fault is there with the Creator. Purport. The word Amara refers to a conditioned soul who has no conception of Advaya Gyan or spiritual oneness. The word Shrasthara refers to the Lord who is the creator of the universe.
Next 176. Lokaveda Mateyadi Ashuda Vahoya Ami Parashileo Ki Ashudata Raya. Even if something is considered impure by the Vedas and people in general, can it remain impure after I touch it? The phrase Loka Vedamate refers to worldly behavior in accordance with Vedic karma kanda. The word Ami refers to the Lord, who is completely faultless and the reservoir of all good qualities.
Now I think this is very unique. This is again very unique to like Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that anything that comes in contact with Lord Krishna, it will become purified. None of the other like Brahma, Shiva, or nobody else can claim such a thing. So in that way, Lord Krishna is very, very unique. I don't think any other it might be, but yeah, like Narasimha Dev. I think with Lord Ram also, but this is yeah.
Anything,
Well, I think it's
anyway,
also because
Hmm. Sorry.
um, I was just going to say, I think it's also because of the conception given by Mahaprabhu, right? Because that's, you know, he gave this he inaugurated Harinam Sankirtan and he completely rejected all the rules and regulations of Smarta society and all of that ritualistic worship. I mean, obviously, you can't go out and beat people up and have illicit sex and all that, but I mean, just the really very serious, like just all of the complex rituals and all of that stuff, he kicked that out. So I think with that the he brought this understanding to a certain level of fruition, right? The understanding that had been built up over many centuries, and with that, it's really because it's really about conscious perception, right? This is what Bhaktisiddhanta is saying in these purports. Those people who are liberated, those who are really advanced on this path, they don't see anything that's not in relation to Krishna. So,
Mm.
and it's giving us that clue as to how to proceed. And we may not be quite on that level yet, but we can at least take some hints from that thought process or that level of realization and start thinking that way.
It
Because
must.
again, what is our oh, I was going to say, sorry, my last point is our whole concept is based on yukta vairagya, right? We don't reject or accept anything for our own use. It's so even eating, we offering prasadam, we can maintain the bodily need for sustenance and also make spiritual advancement and satisfy Krishna in the process. So yeah, yeah.
So it's actually like just one thing. I think that makes sense that it's not that the things which are around you, like relationships or whatever, like those things, it's not like they are changing their nature. It is like you becoming Krishna conscious and start seeing everything related to Krishna. So it's purifying. It's really your purification. The matter
Mhm.
itself or those things are as they are before also, but it's how you start viewing them, how you start interacting with them, your consciousness, which becomes right. That's
That's
actually,
always
really
been my
Krishna conscious.
understanding.
both of you
Yeah.
are actually the last things which Prabhuji said, na, that is the thing. Karam. It is all about perception, because anything created by Maya is also creation of the Lord. It is all, as Bhakti Siddhanta has very, very, I think is very clear on that. That you see, anything Karama is creation of the Lord only. You see,
Hmm.
that is why you see Karam, because He is there in everything. This is what
Hmm.
I think Prabhuji was also saying on the basis of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Karama, because I think ultimately he will proceed towards that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, that's and remember, building on what Shailendra said, there's two aspects to Maya, right? There's Mahamaya, but there's Yoga Maya. And
Hmm.
what's the difference between the two?
Well, Yoga Maya is supposed to he is supposed to engage us in devotional service. Mahamaya engages us in materialistic activity. That is the high
So
level
yeah,
of it.
so they're completely it's the same potency, but depending on where we want to go. So anything, and again, the Lord's external energy is still spiritual. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature. So we think of material because it's influenced by time and corruptible, but it's still Krishna's energy that's creating all of these things, these computers, the clothes. And that again, that comes back to it's up to us to engage willingly and take this process seriously and purify our consciousness and act, as Bhaktisiddhanta says, don't try to see God, act in a way that God sees you. So, um, That's the beauty of what Prabhupada gave us. We don't have to change our position. We can go to work, we can do all the things. We just have to adjust a certain aspect of our life. And it's not easy. It's difficult for the time period, but we also don't have to meditate for 10,000 years either. So we don't have to stand on one foot in a ring of fire for a millennia. But that's the whole point, is it's our conscious perception. Are we trying to act in the way that we see everything in relation to Krishna? I sound really smart. I'm also learning. I'm also trying to understand this myself. And part of preaching or discussing these things is for your own benefit. So we benefit others. As my Guru Maharaj says, you're also benefiting yourself. When you're doing service, you're also benefiting yourself. So we need to hear the things that we are saying as well. So yeah.
Very true.
Actually, Karma, you see, as I think we were discussing some time back, Maya has a very correcting role, Maya
Mhm.
has Karma. You see, Maya had the Lord has a purpose in creating this energy, Maya. Otherwise,
Mhm.
people will just be stuck up in this material world
This
forever
material. Mhm.
unless they are
Yeah.
punished. See, that is why, Karma, I think somewhere there was an example that by Prabhupada only in Chaitanya, that is a loving parent. I mean, you see, I think it was Shreyas and Preyas in connection with Shreyas and Preyas, that you see, a child does not want to go to school. He wants to play, but
Mhm.
the parent says, no, no, they kind of punish him. No, no, you have to go. You can't be playing all the time. So Maya has got that kind of.
I really like, in that context, Mukta Prabhu, he does a very
Ah,
nice. He says, Maya is also a pure devotee. Maya is also preaching. Devotees are also preaching. Maya is preaching by kicking you. Devotees are preaching by encouraging you. That's the only difference. I really like what he said.
ha, ha, ha,
Maya
ha,
is
ha.
preaching
Very
you by
profound.
kicking
Yes,
you. Very,
yes.
very profound. Yes.
Well,
I really like.
there is a certain type of encouragement that comes from Maya, because after a while you're just like, I'm done. I don't want to be kicked anymore.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes, 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 yes,
Exactly.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Yes. Get tired of it. Hmm.
Stick and
Wonderful.
carrot. Stick and carrot. Okay.
177. Dad, your turn, I think.
Okay, okay. এই সবা হান্দিতে মূলে নিখালা দুষানা তুমি ইয়াতে Vishnu lagi karila randhana. In fact, these pots are not at all contaminated because you have used them to cook for Lord Vishnu. Purport. The word mule means naturally or factually. The word dushana means false. Dushana means false, abomination, or impurity. And the words yate means because.
Hmm. Text 178. Vishnura randhana sthali kabhu dushtanaya se handi para she ara sthana shuddhaya. Translation: the pot used in cooking for Lord Vishnu are never contaminated. Indeed, simply by the touch of his cooking pots, other places become purified. Purport: the word sthali refers to the cooking pots. The Smartas are greatly concerned with purity and contamination in relation to their eating. According to the Vaishnava Smritis, any item become pure and acceptable by the touch of the Lord and the Lord's devotee. Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord's remnants, or the Lord's Charnamrita. This consideration is beyond the conceptions of purity and impurity born from the mundane vision of the Smartas.
X179. Ete ke amaravasa nahe mandastane savara sudhana mora parasa karane. Therefore, I never reside in a contaminated place. Everything becomes pure by my touch. The word munda means material, worldly, or abominable.
Next 180. मालया भावे सर्व तत्व कही प्रभु हासे तथापि न बूझे केह ताना माया वासे. The Lord, in the mood of an ordinary child, smiled as he spoke on the absolute truth. Still, no one recognized him due to the influence of his illusory energy. Purport. The word Sarva Tattva refers to the science of spiritual oneness.
Text 181. सबे हसे न शुनी शिशुर वचन स्नान आसी करा साची बोले न तखना. Everyone began to laugh after hearing the child speak. Then Mother Sachi said, "Come and take bath."
Text 182. Na Aisena Prabhu se kaine vasiache, sachibole jata oya bupa jane pache, bapa jane pache. The Lord, however, did not move from his seat, so Sachi again said, "Come quickly before your father learns about this."
Text 183. Prabhu bole yadi more na dekha padite, na deha padite, tabe muni nahi yana kahilun tumate. The Lord replied, I tell you, if you don't allow me to study, then I won't leave this place.
Text 184. Sabe bhat se na ठाकुरेरा जना नीरा sabe bole kene nahi deha padi bare. Everyone present then admonished the Lord's mother, "Why don't you allow him to study?"
Text 185. Yatnakari kehanija balaka padaya katabage apane padite shishuchaya. Some people take great efforts to get their child to study. It is most auspicious if a child wants to study.
Text 186. कौन शत्रु है ना बुद्धि दिला वा तुम्हारे घरे मूर्खा हरि पुत्र राखी बारा तारे. Which enemy has given you the idea to keep your son at home uneducated?
Text 187. Ehate shishura dosha tilar dekha nai sabai bole na bapa aisa nimani. This child has no fault at all. Then they said to Nimai, "Come, Nimai." Purport. The word tilar dekha means even a speck or even a little.
If you
Text
see the
20.
whole thing,
Oh,
whatever all is going on, see, if you visualize the times, that the neighbors, you see, he has gone and done so many mischiefs in their houses, locking the door from outside, their banana plantation and all that. I mean, but they did not, they knew that this is being done by him, but
Hmm?
they did not
Mesmerized.
take a matter into their hands,
No.
and punish directly the child and all that. They even did not complain. And you see the whole thing. And plus, one more thing, you see, that in those times, all these neighbors must have been Brahmins only. And you see,
oh,
that studying is, oh, of course, non-Brahmins, I don't think they can enter Jagannath Mishra's house. I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see, and they had so much emphasis on studies. The child going to school even 500 years back, and you see,
wow.
that is what it has struck me that these by studying Sanskrit and these scriptures, they could earn the money. They could earn their livelihood. Anyway,
Hmm.
this is a little aberration. Yeah.
No, thank you. That's really interesting. Text 188. Aji hoite tume yadi na pao padite, tabe apachaya tume karabalamate. If you are not allowed to return to your studies from today, then you can continue your destruction. Do you see how he like turned the town against his mother and his father? Like, why won't you let him study? Kind of building what you're saying, Shailendra. He's like, if you won't let me study, I'll just sit here. And then all the neighbors are like, how dare you not let your son study?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the neighbors are, see, the kind of loving relationship among the neighbors that they consider this child as theirs. You
Hmm.
see, and they are taking his side, though he has done a lot of mischief with them.
With them.
Text 189. Of course, it is material. Yeah. Na aise prabhu shekhane vasihase sukriti sakala sukha sindhu majhe bhase. Still, the Lord did not leave his seat. He continued sitting there, smiling as the pious people there floated in the ocean of bliss. Purport: the word Sukhi Sakala refers to those fortunate persons who desire to please Lord Vishnu.
Oh yes, this kind of answers why they are not complaining. Like looking at the Lord, smiling in that type of pose. Yeah, they are in an ocean of bliss. How can they say anything against him? Text 190. Yeah, he's like the charmer that Lord
Yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. Text 190. अपने धरी आशीषु अनिला जनानी हसे गौरा Chandra Yena Indra Nilajmani. Then Mother Sachi personally pulled him off his seat, and Lord Gaurachandra smiled like a shining blue sapphire. Purport. The phrase Ye na Indra Nila Mani indicates that the golden body of Nimai was smeared with soot from the impure rejected cooking pots. Therefore, he looked like a brightly shining blue sapphire, or he looked exactly like Sri Nand Gopal.
Hmm.
Otherwise, according to Sridhara Swami's commentary on the word
Akrashnam.
Akrashanam,
Akrashnam. Hmm, hmm,
found
hmm.
in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32, Krishna Varnam Tuisha Krishnana. Tuisha Krishnam. Krishna's incarnation for Kali Yuga looked as bright as a blue sapphire.
Hmm,
That's
hmm.
that shloka 11.5.32. That is actually the first shloka of the Tava Sandarbha. Jiva Goswami quotes that.
Oh,
The
really?
Because
translation
that
is,
yeah, because that shloka I think accepts the advent of Mahaprabhu as an
yeah,
incarnation.
yeah, I'm basically saying that those endowed with sufficient intelligence in this age will engage in the chanting of the names of that avatar Krishna who is constantly engaged in chanting his names, and then say, though not black and who he is verily Krishna himself, and is
Akrishna,
an
Akrishna,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, our
Yes.
Krishna, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's a really wonderful verse, 11.5.32. Yeah, it's not the easiest Sanskrit verse to memorize, but yeah, it's a really nice verse. Text 191. Tattva kahilena Prabhu Dattatreya Bhave Na Bujhila Keha Vishnu Mayara Prabhave. The Lord spoke the absolute truth in the mood of Dattatreya, yet no one can recognize him due to the influence of his illusory energy.
X 192. Snana Karila Lana Sachi Punyavati Hena Kale Ailena Mishra Mahamati. Translation: the pious Sachi then took Nimai to the Ganges, and they both took bath. At that time, the magnanimous Jagannath Mishra arrived there.
Hmm. Text 193. Mishra sthane shachi sabha kahile na katha padhite na paya putra mane bhave vyatha. Shachi explained to him what had taken place. She then said, our son is morose because he is not allowed to study.
Text 194. Sabe bolena mishra tumita udara kara kataya putre nahi deha padibara. The others there said, O Mishra, you are broad-minded. Who has inspired you to stop his studies? The word bole means speaking or statement.
Text 195. ये करीबे कृष्ण चंद्र से ही सत्याहाये चिंता परिहारी देहा पढ़िते निर्भये. Whatever Krishna desires will certainly take place. Therefore, give up your anxiety and fearlessly allow him to study. Well, I think they
Hmm.
were knowing that he had worries that he will also take sannyas, the neighbors.
Hmm. Yep. Text 196. भाग्य से बालका चाहे अपने पढ़िते भाला दीने यज्ञ सूत्र देहा भाला मते. You are fortunate that your son wants to study. You should arrange to give him a Brahman thread on an auspicious day. Purport. The word Yajna Sutra refers to three rings of thread that one receives at the sacred thread ceremony. One must accept the sacred thread to mark the beginning of one's study of the scriptures. The once born Shudra are not qualified to study the scriptures. Only the twice born Brahmins are qualified to accept the sacred thread, teach others how to worship, give in charity, and study the scriptures. Apart from these activities, Brahmins are also qualified to worship, teach, and accept charity. Without accepting the sacred thread, a Brahman is not qualified to perform sacrifices. It is stated, Upaveda samipe tvam neshye, I will bring you near the Vedas, or I will teach you the Vedas. The Acharya awards a person the sacred thread for this purpose, to give him the qualification for studying the Vedas.
Text 197. Mishra bole tomara parama bandhu gana. Tomara ye bole se amara vachana. Shri Mishra replied, all of you are my well-wishers. Therefore, whatever you say, I must accept.
Text 198. अलौकिका देखिया शिशुरा सर्व कर्मा विस्मया भावेना केहा नहीं जाने मर्मा. Seeing the child's uncommon activities, everyone was struck with wonder, yet no one could understand him.
Text 199. मध्य मध्य को न जाना अति भाग्यवाने पूर्वे कही राखी याचे जगन्नाथ स्थाने. Since some most fortunate person had previously given Jagannath Mishra a prediction.
Text 200. Prakrita balaka kabu e balaka nahe yatnakari e balake rakiha hridaye. This boy is not ordinary. Please carefully keep this child in the core of your heart.
Text 201. निर्वधि गुप्ता भावे प्रभु केली करे वैकुंठा नायका निजा आंगने विहारे. Thus the Lord of Vaikunt constantly enjoyed his confidential pastimes in the courtyard of his house.
Text 202. पढ़िते आइला प्रभु बापेरा आदेशे हाइले न महाप्रभु आनंद विशेषे. By the order of his father, the Supreme Lord then joyfully resumed his studies.
Text 203. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Jana Vrindavana Dasa Tachu Pare Yuga Gana. Accepting Sri Chaitanya and Nityanand Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends our English translation of the Gaudiya Bhasha of Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat, Chapter 7, entitled Sri Vishwarup Takes Sannyas. Very cool. We got like 15 minutes. I don't.
Yeah, we can continue.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to say, so I know we understand from Bhagavatam that with, from that point of view, the cursing of Maharaj Parikshit by Shringi marked the beginning of the downfall of the Brahmin order. But it seems like even in this time, there was still some significance. It wasn't just like caste consciousness. It's that he needed the thread in order to formally enter into the study of Shastra. So it's interesting. It still had some like proper ritualistic force attached to it, because this is idea that you come into that the Brahmins are these evil, oppressive people, and they're just trying to keep everyone down. But obviously, that's not the case. It turned into that. But it seems like from the description here, even in the time of Mahaprabhu and Jagannath Mishra, there was still an understanding that a Brahmin had a responsibility to engage in the study of Shastra. So I think that's an interesting thing.
Very much, actually, yes. Actually, it has got corrupted now. Last 200 years, it has worsened. Otherwise, you see, how could these six Goswamis or Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami could continue to get? I mean, they were not working in Vrindavan. They were just writing books and kind of doing devotional service, and yet they received, because they were accepted as Brahmins, and whose occupation is just to study and teach others. Their occupation was accepted for the normal people. You see, it was very much. And you see, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita or the life of Sanatan Goswami, when he left that the king's that Hushain Shah's employment. I mean, he had not left it formally. And when Hushain Shah went to his house, and he had engaged Brahmins to learn Srimad Bhagavatam.
Right. Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Brahmins were yes. Even today, when the other castes they need help regarding astrology or any kind of ceremony, the so-called Hindu ceremonies, they will have to invite a Brahman
Ram.
to conduct that puja or anything. I mean, a non-Brahmin can't do it. That is why you see, even in ISKCON, Prabhupada or even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they smashed this Smrata Brahmins and all that. But they have continued with the practice of second initiation, where you become eligible to perform certain rituals. Others are not allowed to do those rituals. I mean, not all can do the arti.
Plus, I think
Yeah.
also all the temples, the
I
ISKCON
mean,
temples, the main
they
one.
non-Brahmins are made Brahmins. You see,
Hmm.
because they have
Okay.
become devotees. So first they are made Brahmins. First, I think Diksha is Brahmin Diksha, and second is Vaishnava. You become a Vaishnava. I think. I don't know. I think so, or the other way
Okay.
around. Because I think in the second initiation, even in ISKCON, a sacred thread is given.
Yeah. I got
Let's
my
say
thread when I got
first,
second
ah,
from, yeah. When I got
and then
first,
there
when I
are certain.
received my
Mhm.
first, I was given
Hmm.
my name Parameshwara Das,
And I think the
but
chanting
it
beads
wasn't
must have. Here
until
in
I got
ISKCON, they
second.
give chanting beads
Yeah.
and the Guru
Yeah.
man.
Well, I'm initiated in the Gaudiya Matha, but I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that is more or less. Yeah.
Right.
it's not super
Right.
different, really.
Right.
I mean, yeah. And then
Mm-hmm.
second initiation was given the thread and also given Gayatri. So my guru, my godbrother made me a laminated card with all the Gayatri mantras because my Guru Maharaj, after he gave me sacred thread in front of the fire, he took me into a room and whispered each of the mantras into my ear once, and he was like, "There," and I'm like, "What?" Imagine your spiritual master whis into your right ear because that's the traditional way. He whispers
No,
each of the mantras one time, and he's like, "Okay, you're good." And I'm like, "No." I'm
Yeah.
not
No,
even
no,
close
yeah.
to good. I had to
Yeah.
look at the card for like a week, 2 weeks. You say
To
each mantra
remember.
in a repetitive way, so but it was just like I think when he got and when he received, it was because he's very, very advanced. So I think it was instant, but I was like, I barely understood what was going on.
Yeah.
It
No.
was scary.
Yeah. Okay. Chapter 8, The Disappearance of Jagannath Mishra. I think, Dad, you have to start.
yeah.
Yes.
X1.
Hmm.
जय जय कृपा सिंधु श्री गौरा चंद्र जय सच्ची जगन्नाथ गृह ससुधरा all glories to Sri Gaura Sundara, the ocean of mercy. All glories to the moon-like Lord in the house of Sachi and Jagannath.
Text 2. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Swarupera Prana. Jaya Jaya Sankirtana Dharmera Nidhana. All glories to the life and soul of Nityananda Swarup. All glories to the inaugurator of the congregational chanting of the holy names. Purport. Sri Gaura Sundar is the inaugurator of devotional service in the form of chanting the holy names. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Krishna Varnam Twish Akarshanam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumedhasha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. In his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23 to 24, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu has written about the preaching of devotional service in the form of chanting the holy names of Sri Chaitanya Dev, the deliverer of people in the age of Kali, as follows. Therefore, although in the age of Kali other processes of devotional service are to be performed, they must be accompanied by the chanting of the holy names. It is also mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 3.77. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya is the initiator of Sankirtan, congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. One who worships him through Sankirtan is fortunate indeed.
Text 3. Bhakta Gosti Sahita Garanga Jaya Jaya Shunile Chaitanya Kata Bhakti Loibha Haye. Yeah. All glories to Sri Gauranga along with his devotees and associates. By hearing the topics of Lord Chaitanya, one attains the devotional service of the Lord.
एनामते महाप्रभु जगन्नाथ घरे निगुधे अचेना एह चिन्हिते ना पारे. In this way, as the Supreme Lord confidentially resided in the house of Jagannath Mishra, no one was able to recognize him.
Text 5. बाल्य क्रीडा नाम यथा अच्छे पृथ्वी ते सकल खेलाय प्रभु के पारे कहिते. The Lord enjoyed every variety of childhood sports found in the world. Who can describe them all?
Text 6. Veda Dvare Vyakta Hoibe Sakala Parane Kichisheshe Shunibe Sakala Bhagyavane. These pastimes will later be described through the Vedas and all the Puranas, and fortunate souls will hear about them. Chapter 8, Purport. The word Veda refers to 1. Vishnu, 2. The Shrutis, 3. The Amnaya, 4. The Chandas, 5. The Brahmas, and 6. The Nigamas. The word Purana refers to the 18 Puranas, the 20 Upapuranas, and the histories. Although the topics of Sri Sundara, the covered incarnation, are more or less explained in all the Puranas, they are not clearly described. Lord Vishnu resides in the hearts of all the Vaishnavas, and topics of Lord Vishnu emanate from the mouths of the Vaishnavas. Therefore, the wonderful activities of Sri Sundara will later be described by Vaishnava acharyas in their commentary on the Puranas. The Vedic literatures emanate from the breathing of Lord Vishnu. Sri Vyasadeva, who divided the Vedas, has appeared in this age of Kali as Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, the author of Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat, which is non-different from Srimad Bhagavatam. Interesting. Therefore, Sri Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu has written about Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat as follows. The subject matter of this book is so sublime that it appears that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally spoken through the writings of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. The externality of Vedic literature is not denied by the use of future tense in the phrase Veda Davare Vyakta Haive. In different manvantaras and in the beginning of different yugas, Lord Narayan reveals Vedic knowledge in the heart of his servant Brahma and preaches his transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes through Sri Vyasadeva. That is a very interesting purport.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yes.
And actually,
And
Kanama, I don't know. Very. You see how these acharyas have combined bhakti with certain rules and regulations, which were traditionally coming down through varnashram dharma, where the Brahminical culture, so called. See how they
mm,
have combined both the things, and
mm,
that
Yeah,
they have stressed on the rules and regulation aspect as well as the sankirtan aspect, the bhakti aspect. That you see, they were reformers as well at the same time traditionalists. I mean, it
mm,
appears to me, you know.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
and you see, Karama, and one more thing, I don't know whether it is related or not. When I heard about your second initiation and when the process which was gone through, you see, these processes and rituals are actually important so that it binds you in doing bhakti.
in
It
devotional
should
service.
it should increase. Whereas I think the majority of people they take it that now they are done. Now that they have gone,
Yeah,
the got
you've
the
actually
guru,
just started.
and the guru will take them
Mm,
to Vaikunt.
yes.
That it is now, they are done. and I really don't know, because I find it must be tremendous. It requires tremendous effort for a working grahastha to really sincerely devote to
Ask your
bhakti.
son.
He has, the Lord has separated him from his wife. So
Kind of. Yes.
he
Gave the
has
path.
done the as what we learned in the Bhagavatam and all that. When the
Special
Lord
mercy.
says, when he does a special mercy, so the Lord has done a special mercy on our family. On both of us, he has been, and he continues to bestow a special mercy. So the special mercy has no respite for both of us.
Yeah.
And it is his mercy that we have not been snatched away by Maya. We do get kalama, we do get lamentations
Lamentation.
and
Yeah,
but the
that's
Lord has also given the I should say sadhu sang or whatever, with people like
Yeah.
you
Sadhu Sangha.
also, Prabhuji. It is
yeah,
not,
yeah. Well,
and
same.
yeah.
We have to do these processes together. We have
Yes.
to do these processes. There's a section for ourselves, japa and some reading, but we also ser, devotional service means together, means sankirtan, performing together. Without that, you're not going to be, there's not going to be any success. We have to support one another, and we have to, inquire confidentially and expose our minds in confidence, etc., etc. Without that, there's no devotional service. Nobody's independent. So yeah. I brought this up on the Prabhupada's reading call, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, "These aren't my disciples; they're my Prabhus. I learn things from them all the time," something along those lines. So again, I'm
Same.
not saying that I'm Bhaktisiddhanta or we are, but if he could have that attitude as advanced as he was, we can try and take note from that. That's why, on the call, I try to be encouraging on that call, because like even for
Yes.
people like Sagar, or they don't think they have anything, but it's anybody that has an interest in Krishna consciousness has something to offer. It's
Absolutely.
like the when Rama was building the bridge to Lanka, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
spider was contributing small stones and he was getting ridiculed, and Rama said, no, he's still doing what he can
What?
according to his capacity. So yeah,
Absolutely.
we have to support each other in this endeavor, because Shailendra is absolutely right. It's the material energy is much bigger than we are.
Mm.
So
That's great.
so yeah. Should we read one more and then
Yes.
call it for
Yes.
today? Would that be okay?
Yes. Yes. That would be fine. So, Dad, I think your turn. 7.
Mhm.
Ooh, that
Ei
is really
mata.
long one though. Do you really want
Mm.
to? Because that's almost like 3 pages. Hmm.
Maybe
You
we
want?
Mhm.
should pick up next week
Yeah, maybe pick up.
because
Yeah.
it's about 8:30 now. So
Yeah.
sorry, but I
Yeah.
have to
No, no. Yeah.
tend to
Yep.
other
Yes.
things.
Yes.
But
Yes. It is very long. It will take at least 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Yes.
yeah, it'll be a good place to start. As always, thank you so much for your association. I very much appreciate it. We'll be starting volume 2 soon
Yeah.
of the Adi Khan. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's very nice.
Nice.
All right.
Okay. Uh,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. See you next week. Hare Krishna.
See you.
You too. Thank you.